Hello, I'm Alex Hagan, and I am providing a roundup of the Libya conflict and U.S. and NATO intervention. In this program, we are going to use a research-oriented approach, which is to gather data and then analyze it and be consistent. And this type of due diligence has not been occurring enough. The question we're going to ask is, does the textbook Vietnam-Iraq playbook apply to Libya? These wars start with a pretext which doesn't actually match the true intentions of the planners. It is as Hitler said, "I will give a propagandist reason for starting this war. Never mind whether it is plausible or not. The victor will not be asked afterwards whether he told the truth or not." Then you need a compliant media that doesn't circulate too much the other side of the news. You have to demonize the enemy in order to desensitize your population so that you can have them kill the enemy. And then you need to never morally equivalate your civilization with theirs. So, with that said, we will be reviewing these various elements today, and what we shall do now, if I'm not mistaken, is start with Ron Paul. Here we are, and bring it up to the...
This press conference, the president made clear that he believes the law does allow him to make this commitment on his own. Listen to this for a moment, if you would.
I'm not a Supreme Court justice, so I'm not going to put my constitutional law professor hat on here. Do I think that our actions in any way violate the War Powers Resolution?
No, by not putting your constitutional law hat on, then you're not doing the job that I elected you for, which is to be a constitutionalist. And to even say that infers that there is some constitutional problem you're trying to avoid.
The answer is no. We're learning that to get to the constitutional question.
Simply, sir, what's your reaction?
That's a horrible statement. No, he should get to the Constitution. He doesn't have to be a constitutional lawyer. You take an oath of office to obey the Constitution. If we don't know what it says, how can we take the oath? The Constitution is very clear. You don't go to war without a declaration. I agree there's some confusion with the War Powers Resolution because technically it legalized war rather than prevented war. So I don't particularly like that bill, but even if it's the law of the land, even that he has violated because he can't go to war by talking to the United Nations and NATO and refusing to talk to the Congress. I think this is so sad, and the kind of thing that I have been fighting with both parties for decades now. I think it's taken one step worse because he's been a little bit more aggressive in declaring that he is the unitary president, that he can do what he wants, and he doesn't have to tell the Congress. So I find it rather sad that
He's saying that Obama has a bigger executive power grab than Bush, which is not what we elected him for.
Taking that position.
We'll get back to the question of consulting Congress, but first I want to ask you about a point Senator John Kerry raised. As you know, he's the chair of the Foreign Relations Committee in the Senate, and he raised the point that if Congress wanted a say in this, they actually had a chance. Listen to this.
You're saying the president violated the process here. That's the...
We don't care about him.
Oh, they could have done a lot more a lot sooner. That is true. They shouldn't have waited for more than 90 days. They should have immediately let the president know that he was violating the War Powers Resolution and the Constitution. But I don't know what he's talking about on the appropriations. He has no explicit appropriations for this war. So he doesn't have the money, and he doesn't have the authority. And we're slipping into another war. Nobody can even count the wars. Nobody knows whether this is number 4 or number 5. With a country that's flat out broke, and we allow our presidents to do this, this just means that, the constitutional process and the economic situation in this country is totally out of control.
Foreign relations. Well, today the president said, you raised the question of consultation. Today the president said that the criticism